Okay, so this is my second video, my real rant, and I'm gonna be posted on the my blog, the daily rant. I'll post it up on. I'm gonna post both of my links on Facebook, and so you can check that out. Basically, the other big story of the day around the NFL was the ongoing investigation for the Saints bounty scandal. We already know about what happened with the coaches and the general manager. As you know, Sean Payton, the head coach of the Saints, suspended for the entire year. Joe Vitt, the interim head coach, he'll be suspended for half the season, then he'll come in the other half, and the same goes for GM. I forgot the name of the GM, but he's suspended for 8 games as well. So we knew that the suspensions were going to be levied on the personnel. I mean, on the coaching staff and of the front office, but we weren't sure what was going to happen to the players. So we know that the captain of the defense was Jonathan Vilma. He's a linebacker for the Saints. You know, he was going to be a prime target because of his stature. Well, Mr. Goodell decided to drop the hammer, and it's apropos that the Avengers are coming out on Friday. So I could kind of say that it's like the hammer of Thor being dropped again on the Saints. So 4 players, after all said and done, had been suspended without pay. The biggest suspension levied, the biggest punishment levied was on Mr. Vilma. He's suspended for the entire year without pay. Anthony Hargrove, the defensive tackle now playing for the Green Bay Packers, he's suspended for 8 games. The defensive end for New Orleans, Will Smith, suspended for 4 games, and Scott Fujita, who is now suspended for 2 games. He's now the linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. My thoughts on this, really, as far as Hargrove, Smith, and Vegeta, I guess it's fair. This is really unprecedented. This is uncharted territory for any league, let alone the NFL. So, you know, I assume, you know, when you talk about player safety, you know, the integrity of the game, you know, obviously things have to be done. You know, punishments have to be levied. Punishments have to be, you know, has to be taken. So the proper action has to be taken. As far as Vilma goes, I mean, we all knew, you know, Vilma was going to get the bulk of the suspension. He was going to get hit the hardest. However, for the whole year, might be a bit much. I think you know, a fair one would have been at least the same amount as Hargrove, 8 games. You know, there's no real sense of suspending the guy for the whole year without pay, let alone without pay. You know, you're taking away a guy's livelihood. You know, you're putting you're taking the bread off his table. You know, and you know, I understand, you know, some of the things that they did. You know, headhunting and, you know, putting a bounty on certain players to hurt them deliberately, or so it seems. You know, I understand things had to be done, and I think unfortunately for Vilma, you know, say what you will if it's unfair or whatnot. I think it's a little unfair, but say what you will. I mean, this really drives the point home of what Roger Goodell is trying to do. His league, trying to make this league a little more safer for the players. So, you know, this is gonna sting. I mean, I think Lance Moore was it. He posted on Twitter saying, "Let me reiterate, we're gonna be fine." I don't know. I mean, I really don't think this is going to be a good thing for the Saints. Obviously, you're losing your head coach, you're losing your assistant head coach, you're losing your GM for half the year. Now you're losing your best defensive player for the entire season, basically the leader of that defense. You're losing another key piece of the defense in Will Smith for half the year. And let's be honest. I mean, look at the football side of things. I mean, that division's tough. I mean, the Panthers are going to get better. Cam Newton put out an amazing, unprecedented, record-breaking rookie season, and they got better. the Buccaneers are about 2 years ago they were 10 wins. Last year 10 losses. They have a new head coach in Greg Schiano. They revamped the offense. They got Vincent Jackson. Josh Freeman's still still developing. They improved the O-line a lot. So they improved the defense. The team is better. And the major beneficiary of this is the Atlanta Falcons. And the Falcons really, I think, my personal opinion, I think Matt Ryan is going to be really turn the gas up on the season. I think he's going to be having a breakout season this year. I think that with the fact that Julio Jones, the offense they have Julio Jones, Roddy White, the defense has gotten better. So I mean, this is basically the Falcons' division to lose. Because I mean, even though I know the Saints still have Drew Brees, you still got Mark Ingram, Robert Meacham, Lance Moore, all that. You're talking about a loss of a lot of personnel on that team, a lot of key players on this team. It's gonna be tough to overcome. I think it's a wide open division. It's gonna be in the conferences. Now the NFC is one of the toughest conferences, if not the toughest conference in football. So it's gonna be a tough hill to climb for the Saints. But I think appropriate action had to be done. And say what you will, this is the league that we're dealing with right now. It's not the same league anymore, man. So basically, there's not much I can say about that. I mean, these are some really harsh penalties. Goodell's not playing around at all. So this should be a clue to everybody else, man. Just play the game as fairly as possible. Don't screw around, because this could happen to you. So, all right, that should be the end of my rant for today. Tomorrow, depending on what the big news is tomorrow, most likely it's gonna be I'm gonna be really spewing on Amari Stoudemire. I have a big opinion about that. That's what I want to do today as well. But obviously, these two stories just came on. These are the big stories. The Saints bounty scandal being dropped on the suspensions and punishments being dropped on the players, and of course the tragic death of Junior Seau at the age of 43. So tomorrow, I will be venting, and I mean venting, on Amari Stoudemire and the Knicks as they try to at least get salvage one game in this best of 7 series against the Heat, which I think right now, as it stands, it's going to be a clean sweep. But we'll see. So I'll see you guys either later on tonight or tomorrow.